Family Chats. I'm your host, Maureen, and tonight we are joined with Tiffany.
Hello.
And Jeanette.
Hello.
And Shelby.
Hi.
And Amanda.
Hello.
And tonight we are talking Sweet Magnolias. We are doing 3 episodes tonight, and we are hoping to keep it under 13 hours. So we're going to try to go really fast through these. I know that our 2-episode one is pretty darn near close to 2 hours. So
We won't do that.
no, we're gonna our writer for this episode, our note taker, Shelby, gave us bullet points so we can stay on task. But we are talking episodes 5, 6, and 7 tonight. Really good episodes.
They are.
So we start episode 5 on the stormy night in the spa. And first of all, can I just say I love Maddie's rain boots.
Yes.
Like, I want a pair of those so bad. They look like, it reminds me of Gilmore Girls, that episode where she read the boat book all night, and she was like, or she was going through the boat book, and she was like, oh, I want these, like the Morton Salt girl. That's what it makes me think of, is the Morton Salt girl with the yellow rain boots on the left. Those are fabulous.
Yeah, they are. I like them.
So we open up in the big storm, and I love that Helen is finally taking a break. I think that is the first time in 5 episodes that we've seen Helen chill out.
Yeah.
I loved it.
That is too. She needed that.
Mm-hmm.
A woman is, I feel like she is stressed 24/7, but doesn't really show it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just like it's so easy.
I
Like,
want
no,
to be like her when I grow up.
I know. I do too. I want to just have one day where I'm not grouchy at some point.
One day where I'm overwhelmed with things on my to-do list and I'm still calm. That's what I want.
And honestly,
What, Shelby?
with Helen too, like this is still this episode, but it's skipping ahead some. Even when shit hits the fan, she is so classy about how she handles it too.
Yeah, she is.
Mhm.
With ease. Just
Yeah.
so Southern.
Honestly,
Just Southern charm.
Maddie and Helen both kind of have that. Helen more so than Maddie, for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, one of the first things that happens in this episode is when Mary Vaughn changes the day to the baseball fundraiser to be the same day as the opening.
Mhm.
I don't think I would have been as kind as Maddie was when she went over there.
She wasn't.
Maddie was kind. She was annoyed, but Maddie was kind to Mary Vaughn.
She was saying all the Southern disses.
See, maybe that's what I don't get. She said at one point, I know this is your 16th birthday party all over again. Like, that was like the meanest thing she said.
She was.
But I'm not Southern, so for me it was like, wow.
See,
I
I
would've been
took
so
it
much
as
more
like
mean.
a passive aggressive conversation. That's how
That
I
night
felt
when she went to Mary
listening
Vaughn's house?
Yes, that's how I
Really?
took it. Jeanette, you're my only other Southern one.
No, but I didn't watch today, so I'm trying to remember. I mean, I definitely think I remember thinking that Maddie was being really nice, but I think I also remember thinking like it was like nice with like a few little subtle ones just thrown in there every once in a while, just to, you know.
Yeah.
See, I felt that's what Mary Vaughn was doing, because at the end,
Now
when
Mary
she's like-
Vaughn, yeah.
because
Yeah,
she
Mary
said at
Vaughn
one
was
point,
worse about it.
everyone who cares about we're sure to not draw the same crowds. Everyone who cares about our boys will be here. It's a shame you won't be.
Yeah.
And then Maddie's like, I'll be there. And she went, bless your heart. And that one I've learned is not, I've learned what that one means.
Yeah, that's not a good one.
There's
But that
a
was
few.
Mary Vaughn who said all that. And Maddie just like let her say that and then turned and walked out. Like,
There
I
was
don't know.
something she said that was kind of a jab, I think, but also kind of being nice. And I wish I'd watched so I could remember. It was when she brought her, it was the next day when she brought her like the extra
Oh,
gifts for
yeah.
the auction.
that day she said, do you want me to tell you what she said?
Yes.
She said, you know, there might have been a time when we would have seen this as a competition. Isn't it so nice
Oh.
that we're grown enough that we don't look at it that way? I hope your event is everything you need it to be, Mary Vaughn, and then smiled and walked away.
Yeah. Because I think there was like Mary Vaughn said something and then she said that whole, you know, something about it being everything you needed. And I felt like that was a little bit of like,
Mhm.
a jab. So I remember that moment for sure.
That was
Yeah.
like very obvious, blatant to me what she was doing there.
That one was, yeah.
When she's
still,
at
it
the
was
house,
classy
it was
still.
little.
Yeah.
I feel like Maddie went there to be nice, but Mary Vaughn just
Yeah.
she couldn't be nice to her. She just had to have those little jabs at her.
Well, as soon as she like came in, didn't she say she looked like, what did she say she looked like?
Planning a
Something-
party isn't as easy as it seems like it is it?
No, there was even something she said something
Oh.
about like because it was all rainy or whatever. That
a
she
wet
looked-
dog or something.
Yeah,
Oh,
I can't remember
no.
what it was.
Okay, we're switching back to the net. I remember that. Oh my gosh, I need to know what it was now.
Like a cat. Oh, what was it? It was
Rode
something
hard
like-
and put away wet.
yes, rode hard,
Yes.
put away wet.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
even worse.
Yeah. Because I remember thinking, gosh, it's terrible.
Wait, what
Even
was it
Nellie
again?
kind of makes a face like, Mom, really?
What was it again?
Rode
Rode
hard
hard.
and put away wet.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but if somebody said that to me, the gloves are off.
Yeah.
See,
Pretty
me as a northerner would have been like, what did you just say to me?
I don't
The
know.
phrases in this show are amazing to me. I love them. Even Maddie says in the episode, you don't have the sense God gave a goose. Like,
That's a common one. I feel like my grandma.
I've never heard that before in my life.
my
Tiffany, Shelby, have you
grandma-
heard that?
Yeah, my
Oh.
grandma said that all the time. Like all the time.
My grandma just used the word dumbass a lot.
Well, my grandma, see, she's a Southern Christian woman. She would never use language like that, unless she was really mad.
My great grandpa used to say that the elevator doesn't go all the way to the 10th floor.
That's what I'm familiar with.
My grandma called me a hussy.
There you go. So speaking of sayings, does anybody remember what Dana? I remember Dana Sue says something so funny when she shows up at that pour it out when she walks through the door. Does anybody remember? It's one that even I
Yeah,
was like, what?
It was about a cat.
Hold on.
wasn't it?
I know what it is.
Because
I
I
thought-
took a
I
mental
put it
note of
up
that
in the
too.
beginning. Give me a second. It's wetter than a submarine with no windows or something like that.
A submarine with
windows.
screens.
Yeah. The screen
It's
with-
wetter than a submarine with screens.
I love it. It's so funny.
That's one I've heard.
No, but I understand.
That
it,
one
so
I
love it.
understand.
Mhm. Okay.
Shelby, tell us the right and pure version. That's
All right. A phrase originating from the inadvisable practice of riding a horse and then stabling it while it is still coated in sweat rather than brushing it and grooming it properly afterwards.
That's not how it's taken
Okay.
now.
Now go to urbandictionary.com.
No. So I had to rewind it because when Maddie picks up her phone and she's like, "Hey, you," I'm like, wait, are they already dating? Like, what happened? So I had to go back to the end of episode 3, and there was like that transition happened really weird. Did anyone else think that? From
I
we need
did.
to stay apart, we're a distraction to each other to, "Hey, you." Like,
Yeah.
I was so confused.
I thought I'd missed something for sure. I was like, what? Because I did start it today, but it was just for like a few minutes. And I remember seeing that and I was like, wait, am I on the right episode? Like,
Mhm.
did I miss one? Oh,
Because I just watched the other ones last week.
mhm.
And I actually was watching while we recorded last week, and I didn't see. I don't know what happened other than he took his shirt off in her driveway. That was the last thing you see them together.
Mhm.
Is when we went over there for that, and there's like, it was weird. It was really weird. But she goes into Mary Vaughn's, and Mary Vaughn is a wench to her the whole time. But I do love the irony of the fact that she is carrying down a giant cow picture, and she reads into Maddie in like the worst way.
Yeah.
And the fact that Maddie was like, it was for a good cause. And Mary Vaughn's like, I don't care. I don't care about your bake sale.
And you learned about what it is. It was a good cause. It was a bake sale.
But they were earning money for something, weren't they? But they never say what it is, do they?
They were, but they don't say what it.
And
Anyway, it happened like 20 years ago. I'm like, good God, let it go.
And Cal at the baseball fundraiser, when asked what the guy should do to make up the rest of the money, he's like, a bake sale.
Yeah.
So we get all that aspect done. We get that aspect of we see a little deeper and I like that we ended our last episode on Sweet Magnolias with debating like the stuff that happened in Mary Vaughn and Maddie's past, and then we dig into it right away in the beginning of this.
Mhm.
I like that because I hope we get more of that next season with all the characters, because there's so many different layers that we need to unpack there, I think, because they made them so like the way they're acting towards these people, they made it so it was impossible for them to not have a backstory. So the next day at the spa, we meet Petey, who is another character that like this town is full of jerks. Like just the only decent people are the main three, mostly their kids.
Yeah.
And Cal, who's an outsider. Well, and Frank Oakley's character.
And Trotter.
Oh yeah, but is Trotter from? I don't think Trotter's from there either.
Well, he lives
Actually,
there now.
Trotter's not.
Yeah. Because Cal's isn't from there either. So
But we meet Petey. He refuses to help, and again, another weird thing was how shoot, what's the contractor's name? Skeeter.
Yeah.
How he falls into that sconce
yeah.
also felt weird.
Oh, it was definitely weird.
It was awkward.
I'm wondering if they're gonna have like a health issue or something play off of that happening.
Maybe. Yeah, because he did seem a little weird after that. Maybe that's why it was so awkward.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know for sure, but I mean, I don't know. Like he seems fairly normal from the get-go, and then like that happens. That's why I'm wondering if like, because he seems like he's one of the old heads in the town. That's why I'm wondering if maybe they're gonna play it off like he has a health issue or something like next season.
Maybe. That's actually a good idea.
Yeah.
Because there has to be some sense of drama.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure we have enough with the accident at the end of season 1, but still there's, if it's going to go on, I mean, they said that Simone and Logan said we we're going to find out all about that in the first episode. So, so Petey is, I love, this is bringing up to what Shelby had said earlier, or Amanda, maybe, I don't remember who said it, about Helen keeping her cool. And Petey's like, I can't be back here today. We're too full. And Helen just pulls him aside sweetly with a smile on her face. It's like, that tree up there, you're liable for that. So how about a little quid pro quo? And then when he doesn't come back by 5, she's like, I'm gonna go quit his lazy pro ass or something. Or butt. I think she said butt.
I love that part.
And I love when they first appear at the inn the next day. And Jada, she's like, Ronnie's got a chainsaw. I'm gonna go get the chainsaw. And Ellen and Maddie are like, she's gonna chainsaw. I'm not chainsawing.
I don't know how to do that.
And they just let her go.
I don't think they could have stopped her.
I
mean,
And then Ryan shows up.
what do you all think of? Yeah, what do you all think of Ryan? Then we talked about this a little bit.
don't
I
like
don't hate
Helen.
him. I just like Eric
I don't really
better.
like hate him, but I don't want Helen with him.
I don't like them together.
Yeah.
Like there's, and not just because I prefer her with Eric. Oh, I said his name really.
Eric.
My issue with Ryan, I think, is more that I feel like Helen is really happy with him, but I feel like she's very consumed by him.
Yeah.
And he seems kind of like, I know that they refer in the beginning of one of the episodes to Cal as a unicorn with a 6-pack, but I feel like Helen feels like she found a unicorn in Ryan.
Yeah.
Like this is her shot. He was her first love, and now everything's gonna be perfect now. And it just, I don't know. I feel like it makes Helen too reliant on someone else, when I feel like it should be equally reliant on herself and someone else.
I agree.
So I just got that vibe from them, and I think Ryan probably deeply cares for her, but I don't know. It just feels off to me.
Yeah.
But I like him as a person, though. I like what he does. I like what he brings to the show. I just don't like him with Helen at all.
I just think
I agree with you.
Like he's unwilling to bend on anything, which is okay. But I mean, at the same time, like he
Don't be in a relationship
overshadows
then.
Helen, and I don't like it. You know what I mean? Like if you're unwilling to make a change, then you're going to find somebody who's like-minded and agrees with your dreams and your goals. And I don't think they match up. You know, so.
instead of trying to make someone stay with you or nothing. So it
Yeah.
just
But I think he's a good guy. I do like him.
yeah. And it's good to stick by your ideals.
Yeah.
It's just not for Helen, who needs someone who's going to be there for her and not for what they do.
I agree.
And I think that's the other thing too, is because even when he was talking at the opening of the spa, which I believe happens in an episode in season 3, he was talking to those guys about how he might not need to be boots on the ground for every project, but he doesn't seem like the kind of guy who can stay away from that kind of work.
I know. Yeah.
And so I think that Helen needs someone who's going to be here for her. And there's something that happens in a later episode that kind of confirms that for me.
Mhm.
But I feel like he would not, like he happened to show up for the opening, which is awesome. It was great.
Yeah.
And he was great with her then. And I think that he would, but I think that's his mindset, is to help people. But I also think that mindset is what wouldn't allow him to stay in Serenity and be with Helen.
Yeah.
And Helen would still be alone, but with someone.
Yeah,
And
Agreed.
my Helen deserves better than that.
she
agree.
does. I don't. I really wish she would just move on from him. I know that's going to be hard because that's her one true love, but
I really hope that
I don't know. I don't see them ever truly being happy together.
No, they can't be, because she would have to sacrifice so much of what she wants and her dreams and who she is
Yeah.
just to be with him, and he would sacrifice nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no compromise there.
Right.
But I do like when that tree falls and Cal shows up, he's like, Maddie says, maybe we should, again, it's weird that they're so intimate already.
Mm-hmm.
And she says something along the lines of, perhaps maybe we should stay away from each other so we're not a distraction. And Cal gets real close to her. He says,
Yeah.
even when I'm not with you, you're a distraction. Like, man, you are forward. All you did was fix her sink, dude. Why are you so forward with her all of a sudden? She's not even the one who saw you change out of your shirt.
Yeah. It escalated quickly, that's for sure.
That's what I would be mad about.
What'd you say?
I said that's what I would be mad about.
What, that it escalated quickly? Or that you weren't the one to see it
I
on
didn't
her
get to
shirt?
see it.
And knowing that Mary Vaughn saw it all.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be a little peeved.
I like Shelby's note where it says Helen came in clutch with city inspector guy.
She did.
I think I'm too old to have used came in clutch in my regular vernacular. So to me it sounds like really hip to read it.
I'm not even sure. Came in clutch? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I mean, I understand because of
Yeah.
context, but I wouldn't have understood what that meant.
No.
I'm old.
I'm too old. But I know what it means for a football, in terms of a football standpoint. So I assume it's the same for this.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. But I like that. It made me smile when I was like, ooh,
It's fine.
if I say this, I'll
Shelby's
sound like
our
I'm hip.
young slang over here.
But she handled that really good. Like when
Mhm.
the city council guy was like, I'm not coming back, and she's like, well, that tree is part of cities, whatever, and I'll just call in a favor. And he's like, okay, I'll be back. And then when he didn't come back and she went to Mary Vaughn's house, she handled that so classy,
Mhm.
no drama.
No,
Just like, you better get your butt over there or I'm making this phone call.
I kind of wish there was a little bit more of that Southern low-key aggression coming from her. But she wouldn't be
Mhm.
Helen if she did that. That
No,
would
she
just
doesn't
be
even have time for that.
me as a
She
Southern
just
woman.
straight to business, like
Yeah, she's not playing any games.
I don't think I would be well liked as a Southern woman. Do you think that Mary Vaughn invited P over there for drinks to do stuff and to keep
Yes.
him distracted?
Oh yeah.
I wonder what she used to get him over there.
well,
Other
she
than-
said something about his wife. I think his wife is probably just friends with her, and so that's what I was assuming. Because didn't he say something like, "What, his wife there or something too?"
Peggy was there.
Yeah, I
Is
think
Peggy
he's
his
like a
wife?
family friend.
I don't think so. I thought I saw somebody else there, but like I said, it's been a while since I've seen this.
It was
episode.
Peggy, Mary Vaughn, and him.
Oh, maybe not then. I don't
And I
know.
like that the first thing Helen did when she came in there was greeted Mary Vaughn and then apologized for coming in there. That was the first thing she did.
So nice.
Classy.
Yes. And she went through the right channels. She went to his boss and then had the boss talk to him in front of her. So it was not like she went behind, didn't do a Mary Vaughn and go behind everyone's backs to do something malicious and sneaky. It was everything was up front and above board. And she went the right channels. But the clip that I had sent in the chat earlier was when Peggy said to Helen, because Helen said, I'll drop my donation off at the newspaper today or tomorrow. And Peggy's response was, I didn't know you were into baseball. And very subtly, and almost like she had an edge to her expression. She looked a little mean or a little mad. And she looked at Peggy and said, I care about everything that's important to the children of Serenity. And then Peggy Vaughn looked like she had just gotten set down.
Mary Vaughn.
I mean, Peggy looked like she had just gotten a set down. And she looked ashamed a little bit when she said that. But it made me think of, and I can say this because we know in these 3 episodes that Isaac is looking for his birth parents.
Mm-hmm.
It did kind of confirm the Peggy Ryan theory a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because that would explain, because it felt like a weird way to say why because she could have said, I care about my godsons. I care about the people of Serenity. But the way she said anything that concerns the children of Serenity, and the way she said it, and the way she looked at her, I've never seen like Helen look that mean. And Helen or Peggy Sue had nothing to say to that. She just looked down and she looked ashamed. So I'm wondering if that was it, or and I'm leaning more towards Peggy and Ryan.
Yeah.
Or
if you watch, like I can't remember all of, but there are a few different interactions between Helen and Peggy. There's just, I don't know, there's something
Tension.
there. There's something, and maybe it's that Helen somehow knows, or I don't know. I don't think she knows it's Ryan's. And I don't know that it's Ryan's. I'm just making this assumption. So, but that's been my thought since the first time I watched it.
See, I didn't, that went over my head completely.
Mine too. The only reason I saw that is because I was looking for pictures for a YouTube thumbnail for the Sweet Magnolias episode, and I saw a picture of Ryan, Peggy, and Helen. Was like, holy crap.
Because it's got to be somebody. Otherwise, I mean, what's the point of this reveal?
Mhm.
So, and I think he thinks it's Dana Sue. So I don't think it is Dana Sue.
No.
And
No.
I mean,
No, I mean, Peggy mentioned that she was gone for a year.
She said her parents divorced.
Conveniently.
So she lived with her mom in Memphis. The one year there was that big, I don't know, was it a singing group? What was that group that they were all in?
well, I thought it was just like a debutante type thing.
Is that what,
Yeah.
did they say that? Okay.
I don't know if they said that. That's just what I took it as.
Because I couldn't figure out what it was. The first time I thought
Weren't
it was
they
a
all like
debutante.
in like kind of dressed? I don't know.
Mhm.
I felt like it was a debutante.
Yeah.
I think.
They were
They
all in
called
white.
it, yeah, they called it something else, but it kind of looked like how in Gilmore Girls Rory had that like coming out thing. It kind of
Yeah.
looked like something like that.
What'd
But
they
they
call
call
it?
it
I wonder. Do they call it cotillion? Because isn't that like another? I don't
That's what they call it in Gilmore Girls. But let me see what they call it in here. The other thing I was thinking too is because you know how Peggy Sue has to get the gossip. Peggy Sue has been on the outskirts of everything. And she's very clear about that when she talks to them, that she has always been on the outskirts of everything. And I think she even says one time, hang on one second. Okay. I think she even says one time something along the lines of they never accepted her, something like that. And so I wonder if her desperate need for gossip made it so that she was the one who like was trying to do something
Well-
with Helen pregnant with Ryan's kid. I don't know.
And I always wonder though too, like when they talk about this, and maybe the girls did somehow exclude her, but maybe it's because there was something going on between Peggy and Ryan. Maybe Peggy was just flirting with him or whatever, and so they, as teenage girls do, kind of excluded her and pushed her aside, like in a jealousy type thing. And I don't know. I have a feeling it's going to come back that, and it's got to be Ryan's because he's so dead set on not having a child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love all of Helen's clothes.
Mhm.
I love them. And the
Me
day
too.
that
They
they're
all
opening.
dressed really nice.
Yes. But Helen's clothes are my favorite. There's just something about Helen that I just, okay, people, I know that she's not real, but I really want to be Helen Decatur's friend. Like I want her to be my best friend.
I like her too.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
And so there's so many set downs in like the beginning of the show, and there's so many things working behind the scenes to kind of set someone else off. And that one of them is when after all this happens and it's, you know, it's the next day you of course have Maddie going over to Mary Vaughn's house to give her the set down in the Southern way. And I agree with you guys. I think that she went over there to try to rise above it, but then Mary Vaughn is just Mary Vaughn, and it's really, really hard to rise above that. I don't even think there, I mean, there's times when I feel like Helen almost knocks her out. So
Yeah.
but then when Noreen goes to drop off Bill's gifts, and Mary Vaughn convinces her to go to the spa. Like, how mean is that woman?
Why?
Like,
Why did
what?
she go?
Yes.
That's the dumbest thing. Here I'm gonna get stuck talking about Noreen again.
Well, I think we're gonna need to in this episode.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you think that you're welcome there?
Because she doesn't think she did anything wrong.
Well, she's an idiot. I'm sorry.
She genuinely, and she even says we're getting ahead, but this is still in the same 3 episodes we're going to be discussing. But she even says to Bill, I have as much right as anyone else to enjoy that.
No, you
No, you don't.
Nope.
She
No.
legitimately doesn't think she did anything wrong.
Well, did you guys see my note when I wrote with that?
No, would you write?
I don't think we got done with
She
it
has
yet.
some balls.
What?
She
I
has
said
some balls.
balls.
She does.
I mean, it would be one thing after the baby's born. At that point, you will have to have some sort of relationship for the sake of your children and their sibling. You don't have to be friends, obviously, but right now, you don't have to have any relationship with this woman. Like, I don't even want to
No.
see your face ever.
Mhm.
There's no reason.
Yeah.
Maddie was classy though about it too.
Yes.
She
Just
shouldn't have
saying.
been. She should have told her to get out. But that's just
But-
me.
Back to Peggy Sue a little bit, because I want to get to that when we talk about episode later on this episode, because this happens in this episode, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which was it? It's called the Jesuit Juniors, by the way, it's the name of that group.
Okay.
And it is a high school pageant, which
Mm.
must be like their version of the debutante ball, I would think.
Well, I mean, a Southern pageant is a whole ordeal. So, yeah.
Like a coming out party, or is it like a
I mean, it's not
beauty
really like a
pageant?
coming out, but like it's a thing. Like
It's a pageant.
Oh, that makes me think of as Honey Boo Boo.
people travel like all over the place to be in other pageants, and like it's a whole big thing.
So obviously PD passes them because they do that the same day. So they open the next day. And I love the reaction of Maddie when her mom brings over that painting. And Dana Sue, and I love the blind faith that Dana Sue and Helen had to just hang it up there. Obviously that, it was wet, it was ugly, whatever. But they could have gone out and bought something else, but they had just so much faith that they just put it up there and they didn't even look at it until Maddie came there.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
And Maddie's expression on her face was just sheer terror.
Right.
My naked mother is going to be hanging in the lobby of my spa.
I'd be like, I'd rather see the plaster.
Your painting is supposed to be hidden in the back room, mother. But it was beautiful.
I know. I felt so
Gorgeous.
bad for her mom after that. I'm like, here you've been like wanting to hide it away, and here it's beautiful.
I love that her mom knew that's exactly what was going on.
Oh yeah.
I love Maddie's mom. I really, really, really
Me too.
do.
I do too. She's
I
amazing.
especially loved her at the auction
Yes.
with Bill.
Yes.
Well, even before, like
Love
when, because in that morning when Cal was over there, she's like, I hear you're being auctioned off for a date. Like, I was very clear. I said it was a lunch. She's like, so I'll see you for that date. It's a lunch. And she just goes, mm-hmm. And waves as she goes out. I love that one. But I love too that Bill scene where she intentionally made it as awkward as humanly possible.
Oh yeah. She
Because at first-
Whatever chance she gets, $500.
And the bidding had ended at $325.
Mhm.
And then Maddie's mom just comes out, goes from 325 to 500. And Mary Vaughn says, anybody else? And she cuts her off to
I
say, I
doubt
doubt it.
But because I was like, oh wow, why is she being so nice to Bill when she first walked up there? And I was like, there it is. She wants him to be right there when she spends all this money on Cal. So
Oh yeah.
I get it now.
So this is the night when, and Maddie's dress is so cool. Like, did you guys look at her dress closely?
I love her dress.
Yes.
So pretty. And it
I-
looks so good on her.
Yes. And I thought it was more flowy at first because you look at it and it's got I like that there's just a tiny little V, that top button undone. And it's
Yep.
almost like in a soft S shape. The buttons go down.
Mhm.
It has that pretty sash that's around there, ties in a bow. But at the end of the night, when she kisses Cal, that is a form-fitting dress. And she
Yes.
looks awesome in it.
She looks so
Yeah,
good.
she does.
I mean, I love Dana Sue's and Helen's dress too, but I mean, I love how they dress their characters so well to their personality.
Mhm.
Maddie's almost always in a floral.
Yeah.
Helen is almost always in bold colors. Dana Sue is always in structured pieces.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I love how they played that into their characters.
Yeah.
I think that's such a subtle, beautiful way to convey a character's personality
Mhm.
through something like that. It's a nonverbal thing.
Yeah.
You can't get better than that.
Their whole style, I feel like everybody's style in this show
Mhm.
is done so nicely, and
Yeah.
it does. It just looks like it. I mean, the town's called Serenity, and the whole town just, other than Mary Vaughn,
Yeah.
just matches it.
Yeah.
So the other thing Maddie's mom does that just endears me to her is she brings all her old biddies to the
Yes.
party.
Oh, yeah.
I got emotional about that when I was watching it today. I don't know why, but I got emotional about it. Like her mom is such a decent human being.
She is.
Mm-hmm.
I love her. And her friends were so kind and so sweet. And her mom just brought them to the spot and was like, okay, see you later. And the mom just left. I need to call her something other than Maddie's mom or the mom. What's her name? I don't
Pauline?
remember.
Miss Paula.
Yes, Miss
Paula.
Paula. That's right. Yep. And then we have during the spa opening when Eric taught Isaac and Kyle how to paint pretty things on there. And Kyle goes, how do you make someone love you? And Isaac says, no, you don't think like that. That's the way stalkers think.
I love Isaac so much.
He really came out with the advice. Like these were his 3 episodes to shine.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He moved on because we ended in our last episode talking about how sketchy he appeared when he was
Yeah.
seeking and looking for things. But when he flows into these episodes,
Mhm.
you really see him be a part of their family for the first time.
Yeah.
And I like seeing that because Isaac is funny. The other thing about the baseball fundraiser is that Bill's, like, I feel like it was mean of Mary Vaughn to use that as the first thing that was auctioned off too.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it was probably for filming sake because they don't want everyone to hear all the irrelevant things that they're bidding off.
Right.
But I think it was also a brilliant way to show how petty she is.
Why did she seem so shocked that nobody was bidding? Like, did you think they were going to?
Died laughing at the fact that Bill, like, that went over my head the first time too. Okay. And this time watching it, I was like dying laughing. Like, I think that my dogs thought that I was gonna have a heart attack or something because they both jumped up with me on the couch. But I was like laughing so freaking hard that Bill got what, $30?
Yep.
And Cal got 500.
500. Yeah.
And then as Paula was going up to get her prize in Cal, Peggy Sue went over and was like, so this is good for anyone in the practice, right?
Yep.
And that was my favorite part. She's not even going to use Bill.
And the only reason that she bid was because she's friends with Mary Vaughn, and Mary Vaughn would have been ticked if no one bid on him.
Yeah.
Is the
I was
only
gonna
reason.
say it was definitely a petty bid.
Mm-hmm. And it was a pity bid for Mary Vaughn, not even for Bill. Man, he is hated in that town.
Yep.
But it's crazy how much Peggy Sue and the whole town hate Bill, but then Peggy Sue and Mary Vaughn still treat Maddie like she's got.
Well,
the
that's what I was
flag.
gonna say. Like, I mean, they don't even like Maddie, and they're still mad at you for something you've done to her. Like, and they don't even like her. So, what does that say?
Yes,
A lot.
it does say a lot. Just thinking that was funny. I don't know why. Okay,
Man,
so
it makes me mad.
let's talk Noreen appearing there. I know that the last time Shelby had brought up the really good idea of her talking to Maddie in the paint store. And now she just shows up at the spa. And obviously she's a little nervous because it's Maddie, but I think that she thinks Maddie's the only one she has to be nervous about. No one else will care, just Maddie.
Mhm.
And I feel that way because like when she is sitting up there and she runs into Maddie and she's like, oh, sorry, I just need to breathe. And then she stays there. Like what you should have said is, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know anybody's out here, and turn and walk right back out.
Yeah.
Like, you don't stay and talk to the woman whose marriage you destroyed and family you ripped apart. Like you don't stay for that.
No.
And then
But-
I love that she's like, you picked all the right paint colors in here. Like, seriously, paint is the only, I mean, Maddie brings up a good point. What could she say? But
Exactly.
why do you keep talking to them about paint colors?
Just leave. I mean, you shouldn't have been there. You shouldn't be saying anything to her.
No. I mean, she looked cute in that dress though.
She did.
She did look cute.
And I was really mad that I had that thought. No,
I
Noreen
didn't have that
sucks.
thought because this is how much I don't like her. I was like, no.
That dress is
Did you
stupid.
notice? Did you notice that the dress was the same, like just about the same color as the paint that she painted out, that she picked out from the nursery?
I didn't notice that, but that is a really excellent point that now that I'm thinking about it, it was.
Like, I don't know if that was just a coincidence and not actually purposeful, but it was.
So now Maddie has a color that Noreen loves in her spa that matches her clothing. That's a good imagery for her to have.
Yeah. Right.
But there Maddie says, we don't have to be enemies. And you see like Noreen fill up with hope. And then immediately she's like, but we're not gonna be friends. And Noreen actually seems shocked that she says that. How are you shocked? How?
Why
I don't
would you
know.
be friends with someone who slept with your husband? I mean, it's weird.
Like I don't.
I mean, maybe like 10 years down the road, if y'all are still married and happily, like a
Yes.
happy couple, maybe then you could be friendly. But like, I don't know.
I don't know. This might show, like, I guess me being young compared to you guys, but
Hey,
I
do you
feel
have to
like-
word it that way? Young
No,
compared to
but-
you guys.
okay, but like, okay, my mindset on this particular subject is different than what you guys are saying. I feel like if Noreen wouldn't have gotten pregnant, there would have been more of a chance that they could be friendly than now that there's a baby involved. Like if Bill
Don't feel
wouldn't
that
have
way.
left, you don't think so?
I certainly don't
Well,
think Bill would have left, but I think if the moment Maddie found out that he had an affair with her, there's no chance they would have been
Yeah.
friendly. Any more friendly than Maddie is to her right now.
For me, if there was a baby involved, I am more likely to find a way to forgive for the sake of that child and my children being siblings.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Absolutely.
there's absolutely no reason for me to forgive either one of y'all.
Yeah, I don't think that would, I don't even think even that would make me want to have any sort of relationship with that woman.
I think I would do it for my kids so they could have a relationship with their sibling without being, I don't know.
I would like to think I would handle it the same exact way that Maddie did.
Yeah.
Because and this is in episode 6, but when she's sitting at the table with Ty, she says, you have to think seriously about the relationship you want to have with your father because you're going to be a big brother again.
Yeah.
And you can tell him no to being in this wedding, but you can also tell him, yes, you don't have to say no on my account.
Yeah.
I would hope I would react that way.
Yeah.
No contact with Bill outside of what's absolutely necessary.
Right.
0 contact with the crazy lady who broke into the marriage. And even with Bill, it's only out of absolute necessity. Not because I want to, not because,
I
hey,
just
we're
think
cool
about
now.
like Christmases and how like there might be a time when you all have to be together because of the kids. I don't know.
No,
We're not
no,
going to
there's not.
brunch together.
No, there's not.
I can
Nope.
promise you.
Parents find really neat ways to separate that. But I mean, like as it pertains to Noreen and Maddie, I think that Maddie was over and beyond anything that Noreen deserved then. And it's not because forgiveness is bad. I think forgiveness is necessary, mostly because unforgiveness kills you as much as it kills somebody
Yeah,
else.
that's what, yeah.
But Noreen is unrepentant.
Mhm.
Noreen has never apologized. Neither has Bill, which is why we don't like Bill.
Right,
And she doesn't think she did anything wrong.
right.
Those are the issues I have with Noreen. It's not even that they broke up a marriage because clearly Bill was not good enough for Maddie.
Yeah.
Bill should have got out of that marriage because he was not good enough for Maddie. Maddie was way out of his league. And Noreen is clearly someone who doesn't care if he's married or not. So, all for it. You guys have each other. Have this baby. But you apologize to the people whose lives you destroyed. And you admit that you did something wrong to the children whose lives you tormented through
Yeah.
this.
He's
Neither
too
one of them did
prideful.
that. Yes.
It just kills me.
Even in earlier episodes when Bill's like, I'm doing right by her. What about your other kids and your wife? great, you're doing right by this one single person who's currently having your baby, but you can't apologize to your wife. You try to take her house, you try to take her stuff. You act like the kids should be totally fine with the situation, and it's you, not them, so they should be okay with it. And Noreen kind of came in there with the attitude, like she tries. I feel like it's not even that, oh, I did something wrong, so she's not gonna like me. I feel like it's, yeah, Maddie is the ex-wife, so there's no way she's gonna like me. And I think that's as far as she's thinking. She's the
Yeah.
ex-wife, not she's the wife whose husband I slept with when they were married and now ex-wife. She doesn't think of it that way.
Yeah.
They're very separate things. And to be honest, she wasn't his ex-wife when they opened the spa.
Nope.
She was not his ex-wife.
No. It's weird.
And I like that. What I really liked about the scene is that, yeah, Noreen stumbled over words, but Helen and Dana Sue saw through the door that Noreen was in there. And Noreen felt like, I felt like Noreen thought Maddie wasn't going to like her, but she wasn't afraid. And then Helen and Dana Sue came in there, and then she started talking real fast. Like she was suddenly very afraid for her life. And Helen said, "Is everything going all right out here?" And then Noreen left right after that. So I like the imagery of the three of them banding together and scaring Noreen away.
That whole exchange, it's just weird. Anytime they're in a scene together, it's weird. And
Yeah, I agree completely.
I was really like surprised that Noreen had the guts to even show her face there. To be
Kinda, yeah.
I think she's so naive and oblivious that she just doesn't have any idea that it's wrong. And sometimes I wish somebody would set her straight and be like, you need, like, you don't need to be here. Like, this is not
Mhm.
okay.
Honestly, I feel like we see a little bit more of her like being naive in what episode is it? Whenever her brother is in town too, and they're talking and stuff.
Yeah.
That's jumping ahead to a different episode, but it's during this podcast too, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But anyway, I think that we see more of like her personality coming out a little bit more, because I think that she's in the mindset that she's going to make it work for the baby no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think too that she thought the only thing that was stopping her from living the life she wanted was that Bill was still married. And once he was divorced, then everything should be perfect and everything should be perfectly happy and everything's going to be easy street from here on out. So yay, woohoo. I think she genuinely thought that. All right, so we end, Annie drinking is the last thing we need to talk about. And the kiss, obviously.
Oh yeah, that was
Oh
awkward.
man.
Yeah.
So awkward.
Like,
Oh, and also, I don't know if you guys touched on this or not, but Eric is extremely jealous of Ryan.
I like how he watches him all night long. Every time he touches Ellen, he just gets this look on his face.
Yes.
Oh, and he says in this, when he's talking to Kyle and Isaac, he says, all you need to do is cook desserts. That's the way to a woman's heart. And then when Helen in the next episode, when she's on her phone, he interrupts her sentence with Ryan. Like she's talking out loud and laughing out loud at what Ryan's saying. And he cuts her off to say lemon poppy seed or whatever the flavor was. And he hands her a baked dessert. Oh, I love
He was
that.
ready.
Okay, so I can't tell if Cece was genuinely being nice to Annie, like, hey, we're buds now, or if she had this plan the whole time, because it seemed at first that, I mean, she invited her to the party. Annie wasn't gonna go. She wasn't gonna interrupt anything. I don't know if she's still using her to get close to Ty. I don't know.
I think she was being genuine at first. It wasn't until she
Ty
saw
rescued her.
like Ty kind of go to Annie's rescue that all of a sudden, like, she got jealous of it, and so she got weird again. Is what I think.
Can we also talk about how minimal her reaction was to taking a giant swing of straight vodka
I know for like probably the first time. Yeah.
for the first time ever? Yes.
No, you gag.
And it burns.
Ugh.
Mhm.
But-
Annie was smashed,
Mhm.
like trashed.
Mhm.
Yeah, she was.
So bad. And there is that one was after she was drunk and she started to fall over. And this is the one time I actually laughed at what Jackson said, because Jackson's the one who caught her, and Jackson was being charming and sweet. And so you kind of get this idea that I don't know if it's that he doesn't like being mean, but he knows when the charm is necessary to convince someone to do something that he wants.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
Ty
yeah.
comes up to rescue her. He's like, Annie can handle it by her own, on her own. And Jackson says, Well, gravity says otherwise.
Yeah.
The one time in the whole series I actually thought Jackson made a funny joke.
The one time.
I don't know why I thought it was so
Did
funny,
you
but it was.
see my note about that?
About the gravity.
No, just oh, and how Jackson took her camera. So like he started off being a jerk,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then he was trying to play hero,
Yep.
and then Ty's like, no, I can handle this type thing. But I think that Ty sees it more as he's protecting his sister, quote
Yeah.
unquote. But Annie sees it as like, oh, my Prince Charming.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you notice too that when they first walked in there, Cece says, "I got your back," and I really believed it. And then when she's walking out drunk, she's just laughing at her, sitting like 5 feet away from her. She's drunk on her own. But then when she bends over to puke, immediately she comes up and Ty pulls down the sleeve of his jacket and he wipes Annie's mouth with the sleeve of his jacket.
He's so sweet.
Oh, I didn't notice that. That's
Gross
disgusting.
and sweet, but super gross. Like, what
No,
are
that's
these chunks
sweet.
on
I
there? It
think
was sweet. It was
Yeah.
very sweet, but
Ew.
my head was divided equally between, oh, that's so sweet, and could you have used anything other than the sleeve of your jacket?
Well, he doesn't have to do his own laundry.
That's true.
Listen,
Excellent point. But then
I would never.
I mean, Ty would have done his duty if he just made sure she got home safe. But Ty made sure she got home safe, changed her clothes, brushed her teeth, set up the
Text her
water, gave her
mom.
the aspirin, came up with a cover story. She kissed him, and then he still covered her up and walked. I mean, he looked freaked out. He clearly was freaked out the rest of the night. And I was confused when Annie was saying something. The
Mhm.
first time I watched it, I was like, why is she narrating her text message like that? Can't you just show us the phone? And I was so irritated that that's how they were doing it. But then I realized it was a voice
Voice clip.
message.
Yeah.
But in the voice, she's so drunk that in the voice message, she says, send.
Yep.
It's not voice to text. Maybe she thought she was doing that. I don't know.
She did a good job portraying that, though.
Mhm.
Did you also notice that when Dana Sue heaps praise on Annie, tells her all the things she feels about Annie, how much she loves her is when Annie's unconscious?
Yeah,
That's kind of a
Mhm.
bummer.
I know.
it is. But I think that's just their relationship.
Mhm. And it's crazy because she even says in the next episode that she doesn't want the relationship with her.
Mhm.
So we end episode 5 with the Cal and Maddie kiss, which was a good kiss. That was a good kiss.
It
There was a trifecta of kisses. Annie and Ty. Hold on. Annie
Oh,
and
that's
Ty,
right.
Helen and Ryan, and Maddie and Cal.
Yep. And Helen says, you know, my mother happens to be living in Florida these days. And she says, so she's not behind that door ready to flick the lights on and off to tell me not to kiss you one more time on this porch. And then Helen says, do you want to come in? And just turns and walks in the door. Doesn't even wait for an answer. Just walks in the door and he almost runs behind her.
I think that's why I end up torn, even though I love Eric and that's who I really want her to be with. I do think her and Ryan are really cute together when they have scenes together. So it messes with my head, I think. I don't know.
So we start off with the pour it out at Maddie's house, right?
Mhm.
What does cute little Kate mean?
Mhm. No, it wasn't a pour it out. Maddie was in bed with Katie, and Katie asked her how her night was,
Oh
and she was
yeah.
telling that was good. And then that's why I said it was cute, because Katie was like trying to get the gossip, and Maddie wasn't biting them up.
Not Maddie's first rodeo.
No.
Who what?
Matt,
It's not Maddie's first rodeo.
Oh no. But yeah, so it started off, Maddie was in bed and Katie like came into her bed with her and was like asking her about the night before and stuff.
Yeah.
And Maddie wasn't biting, like giving her information.
Mhm.
And then Annie realized what happened with the kiss. She looked at her phone or whatever and like heard the voice memo and stuff.
Yeah.
And you could tell that she was extremely hungover, and Dana Sue was like banging on her door all crazy, wanting to go to church.
I mean, to be fair, if I thought my kid was just sleeping, that's exactly how I'd act. But we're going to church, so get up. Because she thought her kid was so
Yeah.
innocent that there's no way she'd do anything other than just sleeping in.
It really kind of amazes me, considering hearing Dana Sue's past.
I know.
Yeah.
Like, you don't, I mean, she's given away all the signs of the fact that she's completely hungover.
Well, I mean, I think my mom and my dad's an alcoholic. My mom had a really, really risque past. None of them saw that I was an alcoholic. But I think it's because you think I did a better job than my parents did. So my kids are not turning out like I did. And if you can.
Wasn't the Tylenol even still sitting next to the bed though?
Yeah, but Dana Sue didn't come all the way in the room.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
she was just like right at the doorway telling her to get her
Yeah.
butt up.
Yeah.
And Dana Sue can sometimes be a little self-focused when she's got something to do.
But
She's
she
very
came in-
oriented.
She came in the room when she came to tuck her
I
in the
know.
night before.
Then she should have seen the stuff because she's
I
really
would have
sweet.
noticed those
I think-
Tylenol sitting there right away and been like,
I think she
But
even
you got
moved stuff
this-
around on the end table when she went in the night before,
I don't know.
right before she tucked her in.
I just thought it was interesting. I was
Yeah.
like,
I mean, if I thought my daughter was innocent, I'd probably be like, maybe she came home and went to bed because she has a headache.
And she also sent her the text message. Well, she thought that Annie sent her a text message and said, I don't feel good. I had a headache. I went home. So she also did get that at the right time. So she probably thought, oh, Annie was coherent enough to send me that message and she was home when I got home. And
Yeah.
I was.
I mean,
too
I agree with you
bad.
though.
I
I
feel
would-
like I'll be skeptical.
I'm already skeptical of a lot of things. My
Me
kids
too.
are
Yeah.
very young. Like, wait a minute, what do you mean by that? I've said that before.
Exactly.
What do you mean by that? But in terms of Ty and Annie, this is where Ty also starts completely avoiding her. When she
Mhm.
tries to talk to him at church,
Yeah.
and he's like, can't keep my dad waiting. Really? Now
Yeah.
suddenly you want to hang out with your dad?
Which I think made everything way worse.
Yeah.
I think he's trying to. I think that kiss. I mean, it shook him, and so I think he's trying to process how he feels about
Mhm.
it.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Poor guy.
Definitely.
And he tried to do damage control by saying, hope you're okay, dude.
That part made me laugh.
That's pretty.
Like back in the friend zone you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think for Ty, that relationship is so important to him and so pivotal to him that he couldn't lose it. So he's trying to find a way to keep it and still think about what happened.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's had so many relationships already like change so much that
Exactly.
I'm sure he's like, I can't do this.
And then
Yeah.
when there's a breakup, it's completely altered and shattered
Yeah.
everything about it.
Yep.
I mean, his parents were really good friends, met in and that's the other thing too, is his parents met in high school
Yeah.
and got married in high school, knew each other all growing up. Annie and him knew each other growing up, met in high school. She tries to kiss him. And he's
Yeah.
got to be having like PTSD about his parents, their
Yeah.
story and what's going on now with Annie. And Annie's too important for him to risk that.
Yeah.
Which just shows, by the way, how opposite he is to Bill. So then we have in the courtyard while he's avoiding Annie, we have the big three, the other big three, like not this is us, but this big three. Helen, Dana, Sue, and Maddie talking along, and she's like, Hella's glowing after the kiss and other things with Ryan. And I mean, we're assuming other things because that's just what we're assuming. And she's like, we saw the first dance with Cal, and she's like, that's not the only thing that happened. You're on a church lawn.
They're
Jesus
outside
already
the
knows what
Yes.
happened. There's no
I
reason to
know.
hide it.
So they discuss that. She goes to the spa, and then the whole spa thing, it was not, and this is the part that kind of bugged me just from a business mindset, is they said, it's opening day, it's not as busy as we thought. They had to pour out the night. Like, well, at this rate, we're not gonna be able to hire help. It's the first day.
Yeah.
Right?
And even Helen says, it's only the first few days, but Maddie and Dennis are like, well, that's it. We're working here forever. We're never getting help. We might as well just close up shop right now. We're done. And Helen's like, what the heck is wrong with you two?
Oh
Every
yeah.
week.
They're both stressed, I think. Just
I think that's just kind of how they work though. I think they had these grand plans because the opening went so well. They had these grand plans that the spa was going to be immediately off the charts, popular, a big wild hit. In any business, it takes at least a year to break even.
Right.
You're certainly not going to start making money the first day.
no.
I mean, you have to recoup what you put into it. You have to recoup your sales from the products that you bought. You can't do that in the first day or even the first week.
No.
What were you going to say, Shel?
The other thing is too, like, and I don't know if you picked up on this or not, but it's just so funny to me how all three of them handle stress differently.
Yep.
Helen throws herself into more and more things, like with the whole mock trial thing, which we'll get into later. Maddie kind of like spirals out a little bit, and Dana Sue is like aggressive in a way.
That's a perfect way to describe how Dana Sue handles
Mhm.
stress. Aggressive, yes.
But like all three of them like handle things completely differently, but like at the same time, they don't let it mess with their personal lives. Well, Helen doesn't really have a personal life too much, but they don't really let it mess with their personal lives either.
Mm-hmm. I think that Helen feels better, and even Dana Sue says at one point, I do better with more things on my plate. But for Helen, I think that's actually true. For Dana Sue, I think she just wants it to be that way. I think it's just avoidance. It doesn't make her feel better. But I think Helen actually feels, as she's accomplishing things, that it's going to be better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So the next thing that I have written down, Maddie seemed ashamed kind of dating Cal, but I don't know if that's because she wanted to pump the brakes until she talked to Ty, or if she actually is having second thoughts.
I don't think
I think
she's
it
having
was
second
Ty.
thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she probably should have been thinking, should we keep moving forward on this? But I think that just knowing how the rumor went when he took his shirt off in her driveway, and knowing how sensitive her son was and how upset he was, and how she promised him, they would talk beforehand.
Yeah.
Because she even says that when Cal comes in and gives her that, like, I like that. See, that's the kind of kiss that I like, when Cal came into her work and they went in the other room. Like, I was like, whoo. But she even says, wait, I promised I would talk to Ty if our relationship changed. And I like that she classified that, if our relationship changed, not I need to ask my son for permission to date you, because she doesn't need to do that. I think that she probably should have gone a little bit slower, like maybe waited till the end of baseball season to do it. But that's a preference of how I would run things.
Yeah.
But she was clarifying, I'm not asking permission, but I also need to make sure my kid is okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it was, because she did say that to him. And then Cal said, sure, take however long you need. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
That's how it should be.
I like that when she talked to Ty, she sent Cal the message immediately, but then she looked at Kyle and was like, Kyle, I'm going to go out to eat with Coach Maddox. She's like so excited to tell people once she talks to Ty.
Mm-hmm.
In her shoes, like as a mom, that was like the perfect way to go about it. Like letting him know like he's not in charge of this, but his opinion is valid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I did think that Ty handled it the way you would expect him to, and the way it's right for a kid to handle it, where he was clearly upset that, it's my coach.
Yeah.
But then he also says, he also shows his maturity when he says, I do want you to be happy, Mom.
Yeah.
Which was very gracious. This is the scene when Cal runs into Helen and asks her to do mock trial. She's like, I don't have time, so of course I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what happens.
I feel like that's me.
So Helen helps with the mock trial, and she really has a connection to Cece. Now she says in this episode, doesn't she, that or she I don't know, she says in one of these episodes, 6 or 7, that Cece reminds her of her.
That was
Right.
this one, I think.
I think it might have been 7 when she's going to mock trial. Cece asked her, why do you care? But that salt and pepper is the debate that sent her, that she asked her to be mock trial. And I'm sorry, I thought her argument for pepper was stupid.
That's how you really feel.
But that's because I'm a salt girl. So I'm like,
That
pepper, what the hell?
I didn't think that was lead defense attorney material. She was aggressive, yes, which was good.
I think that's more of what it was, that even though the argument didn't make sense, it was her delivery of it that sold her, so.
Because her question or her responses were like, there was no, it was just opinion. And then the other kid was like, I'm going to give you evidence and I'm going to give you facts. She's like, I'm just going to tell you you're dumb.
Well, but I mean, I feel like sometimes that's how a defense,
That's not how it should go.
I don't like her though, so I can't say.
You don't like her?
Not at all.
I don't like her either. No. So she's chosen as lead defense attorney pretty quickly, and off of just that. But I trust Helen's judgment. If Helen sees something in her, then it's worthwhile looking into.
Yeah.
And then when Cal or Ty and Jackson's are walking down the hallway as a team, and Jackson is just a little. Whoa. I don't think I've ever wanted to hit a kid so bad.
Yeah.
Eggplant head.
He is an eggplant head. I cannot wait that I had to use like an appropriate version of that word to somebody. But he's harassing Ty about Annie, making fun of him for, and that's the other thing, he's making fun of Ty for taking care of an out of control drunk girl who is suffering and is so confused. Ty's getting made fun of for taking care of someone like that.
Yeah.
Because it would have been cooler had he just taken advantage of her. Like, really, Jackson, that's the kind of dude you are? Like, really?
Apparently.
Yeah.
And clearly it is, because when she fell into him, he was kind of headed that way. And Ty obviously knew that, that's why he raced over there.
Right.
But that's when Cal pulls him into his office and says, hey, let's talk.
Yeah.
And I loved that, because I thought Ty was just going to shut him out the whole time. Like, no, we're not having any sort of conversation. But when Cal started talking about his dad and how he never got the opportunity, then Ty was like, what did you never talk again? Cal was like, no, he died. And Ty was actually receptive to that. And I was kind of surprised, happily surprised that he was.
Yeah.
But
Dee, I think Cal overstepped.
I think in some ways he did. I think if he wanted to talk to Ty about that, what he should have talked to him about instead of his relationship with his father was, hey, I need to be a man and talk to you about how I'm starting to date your mother and I'm also your coach. And there's lines we can't cross. Here are the boundaries. And here's how I feel about you. Here's how I feel about your mom. And that should have probably been where it ended.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as a coach, I cannot go up to a student and talk about their home life and give them advice on their home life if they do not come to me with that information.
See, I'm used to Eric Taylor, so I'm used to everybody, him just in Whitey Durham, that they just get involved in everything. So
Yeah, but Eric Taylor, people all either went to him or the people who he helped didn't have parents.
Yeah, true.
And all these people have parents that were involved.
Mhm.
And especially giving the volatile relationship that Bill and Cal had.
Yeah.
Maybe don't say that. And even Ty stood up and said, yeah, but I choose who gets to come into that space,
Mm-hmm.
which was right.
Yeah.
And Cal said, well, so does your mom. No, not in Ty's space. She doesn't.
No.
Ty doesn't have to have any relationship with you, Cal. Even if you marry Maddie, he's not required to have any
Doesn't have
relationship
to.
with you.
Right.
Isaac and Annie's heart to heart.
That felt stilted to me.
I liked it. I thought it was sweet.
I liked it, but again, with the Cal and Maddie thing, like there was no, I felt like there was, I don't know. It just kind of felt like it happened fast, like her confiding in it happened fast, but maybe that's just because he was there and he was talking to her and he was nice, maybe.
Yeah.
I
think
agree
they're
with
pretty
you. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I think they're pretty close. Like, because I think she spends a lot of time there. Like I think that's why I was saying, like, I would almost wish that his mom is Dana Sue, just because I like their like sibling feeling relationship that they have.
I think that Isaac is kind of the closest one to Annie's age, so maybe she confides in him a little bit.
Maybe, yeah. I think maybe it's been too long since I've seen the first couple episodes because I think that's where they talk, isn't it? When they talk about her pictures on our Instagram page.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah.
I'm just remembering that now. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so-
then
and he did give good advice too.
Mhm.
He did. And I think the other thing is too, Isaac sees Dana Sue on a professional level, but I think that he also sees through her toughness in a way,
Mhm.
but I think that he also sees how she is towards Annie. He's not completely oblivious to that part of it.
Mhm.
So I think he's like a mutual ground that she can talk to, and she knows
That's
that he
true.
won't run anything back to Dana Sue.
That's a really good point, yeah.
Well, and at this point, he's thinking that Dana Sue could be his mother. So I think he looks at Annie as possibly his little sister. He
Yeah.
just doesn't know yet.
Is that a thing? Because that went over my head too.
Yeah. That's why he's like working with her and like going through all the stuff, is because he thinks it's his mom.
But he asked,
thought
I
that
think he
Eric
asked that in like
was
episode,
her-
he did, but after Eric said no, I think it's in episode 8 or 9, because he always kind of thought Dana Sue was, but Dana Sue is close with Eric, and I think he just kind of thought you guys might have had a connection at one point.
No, it's not Eric that he thinks Well, maybe at that point he does. Yeah.
Yeah, because he thought that's
is,
why he
because
was into
Eric
Eric's
is-
stuff. He
Mhm.
tells him
Eric
that.
is very aggressive with him
That was
about
weird.
him not being his dad.
That was weird.
Yes. He like pinned him up against the wall and like screamed in his face about it.
That was a huge overreaction.
And that
He's
is
got
what
something going on in his
That's the
past
one
that he
thing
doesn't
that-
want people to know.
yeah, that's the one thing that holds me back from Eric, because there's just something that I'm like, what is going on with you? What are you hiding right now?
Yeah,
So-
he's got something major he's hiding.
He was an EMT who has PTSD and his wife died. So there's something that's connecting all of those three things together.
And maybe his wife was pregnant or something. We don't know about this yet, which is why he freaked out about like the idea of having a kid or something, I don't know.
He was very certain about the fact, yeah, I mean, maybe that's it. Maybe the baby died when his wife was,
Yeah, because
and
it's
he couldn't
real.
save her.
It was a real crazy reaction. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
My theory is that he was an EMT and like him and his wife got into a car accident or something happened, or his wife got into a car accident when he was on the job and he had to be the one that tried to save her and he didn't successfully save her. And that's why he has PTSD.
Well, when he first, remember in the first couple episodes when he talks about, they asked him how he learned that, and Isaac said maybe he'd go to culinary school, and didn't Eric at some point say that culinary school saved him from an addiction? From alcoholism or something? Wasn't he an alcoholic? Something like that?
I don't
I think so,
remember.
yeah.
Maybe.
I feel like I remember him saying
That
he had an
sounds
alcohol
familiar.
problem.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if he was responsible for his wife's death because he was hammered and something happened there and she was pregnant. And the reason is what I would know is because he blamed himself and it was more of a shame thing. But even so, I think that was a weird reaction to have.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah, that's my theory too.
But I think he also has anger issues though, because look at what he did to Brad too.
Yeah.
Well,
Brad deserved it.
Brad was in defense though, and even then, Eric could have kept going.
Yeah.
He hit him once because Eric was coming at him, and then he stopped and he told him to get out. But I think he does have post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah.
He went to that group in this episode for PTSD. So I mean that can, when you're in that moment and you're triggered by whatever it is, it can make you physically react.
Mhm.
So I think that's what happened with Isaac, but I don't understand why that triggered him.
Yeah.
With Brad, I think it was in defense of someone who was innocent.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So this all happened. Did that happen in episode 6 when he?
What?
Yeah, when Eric goes to the PTSD support group. Does Isaac confront him in this episode?
Yes.
Oh, the end, towards
At
the
the
end,
very
right?
end of it. Yeah.
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 And poor Isaac when he
Um.
starts to cry, like, and I don't know why Isaac wouldn't just tell him, like, this is what's happening. Like, I don't, maybe it was because he was being so physical with him, but it felt weird that he wouldn't just say, I'm just looking for my birth parents and I thought you might be it. Like,
Yeah.
I get that there's a fear that he would say, no, whatever. And, there's maybe that aspect, but even him, like, dude, just tell him he's got you pinned against the wall. Just tell him what you're doing.
Yeah.
Mhm. Which he did then eventually.
Yeah. That was just, I don't know, that was just a weird scene.
It was.
So
So then, go ahead.
I was just gonna go back up to the Ty Jackson thing.
Mhm.
Which
So
happened-
the next part, I said, Ty confused about Annie. Can I just say, I don't remember what dude's name is, but Ty's best friend is top notch at giving advice
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
for as young as they are.
Gabe. It's Gabe, I think.
That's what it is. I couldn't think of his name. That's why I didn't put it in the notes. But yeah, he is like top notch at giving advice as
Mhm.
far as like how old they are. And, he doesn't have his emotions in it. He's telling Ty what it is and
Yeah.
basically like being completely honest with him, regardless of how Ty feels about it.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool.
Mhm. And that's why Ty is sharing all this stuff with him. I think it's more than just that he's his best friend, it's because that's how he is.
Mhm.
So when
And then I have Jackson, Eggplant Head 2.0 sent Annie's voice thing to the whole team.
that's just so mean spirited on a whole different level. It's not even necessary. That's going out of your way to hurt and upset as many people as possible in one fell swoop.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
That's
not
not-
necessary.
it's not just about, I mean, everything else seems to be about, Ty and these jealous of him, but I mean, this hurts Annie. And for what reason did you want to hurt her like that?
Yeah.
It's just strange.
It's really hard. And so I know that we're going into something that this is not the order, but I want to handle this situation, handle this conversation, and we'll move on quickly. So when that happens and Annie sees it, who sent that to Annie? I saw Simon. Oh, Simon is her newspaper guy. So did the whole team must have sent it out to their friends?
I'm guessing, yeah.
Probably.
So she sends Ty a message and just basically says, WTF. Well, that's not basically, that's exactly what she said to him. And that scene I felt so bad for him when he went over there, because one, he obviously had nothing to do with it. Two, he had every right to discuss this with someone else because he was trying to process, and he clearly couldn't do it with Annie. I think Annie, she was very hurt, rightfully so, because this should have never happened. She deserved to be hurt. And I think she was taking it out on Ty, but she wasn't listening to him at all. And then Ty was unsure if he felt that way about her. Like I think he thought he might have. So when at the end he's yelling, I needed someone to talk to, and she got mad. I'm like, oh, you couldn't talk to me? What? Why would he talk to you about that? Why? Because I know that she was hurt. She didn't really think it through beyond I'm hurt and he's partly responsible. But in the end, right before she closed the door, and he slammed the door shut again. And that was really intense. But when she said, and by the way, I was drunk, the kiss meant nothing. The pain that registered on his face when she said that made me very upset for Ty. I hurt for him. He's good.
See, I think that part of Annie's reaction is because she was basically in love with him for a long time. And well, at least puppy dog love. We don't know if it's real love or not. But anyway, I think to an extent it is real love, but puppy dog love. And Annie's just like heartbroken. Like they're best friends. She pretty much ruined that. And then on top of her ruining it, all this drama unfolded with it. And then Ty, like, she's kind of seeing how everything is unraveled because Ty's the person that she could talk to about everything. And this is one thing that they can't talk to each other about because it's revolving both of them. And then I think when Ty finally saw that he had feeling, or, typical boy, finally realized that he had feelings for her, possibly, then she kind of shut the door on all that because he was stupid and, well, not really stupid, but drama unraveled and she kind of closed the door on it.
Well, I think he just took his time and was trying to figure it out, and other people created the drama, and that it was out of his hands. Like he wanted to go after Jackson, but it was already done. There was nothing he could do. And I think that because when after the kiss and he went home, like he is playing with his lips like the whole time. Every time he gets a text message, he's playing. So he's just genuinely confused, and he's genuinely afraid. His parents set the example for what his relationship with Annie would be like, and he's terrified to lose her. Absolutely petrified to lose her.
Ty and Cece kind of start going out, and Ty is like wanting Cece around.
But he also, like, he puts it on his Instagram page, and Gabe runs out. He's like, dude, what are you doing? And he's like, I know you don't like her. Yeah, but it'll clear things up. And Gabe says, yeah, because that won't end well. Or he's like, yeah, because that'll end real well. I do like him. I like his friend. He's a good guy. He's a smart guy.
And then Cal visits Eric at the restaurant, and Dana Sue is like super not really triggered by it, but suspicious about it, basically.
Well, I don't think she's suspicious. I think she's just like, wait, what is this? What? He's not connected to me. Why is he here? But he also came in the restaurant the back door to go in the front and talk. Why didn't you go in the front door and say, hey, is Eric here? Why did he think he could go in the back door? I think that's what triggered her more than anything else, is that he went in that way. And didn't she look at him and say something like, and when did you gain these privileges? Like irritated that you're coming in my kitchen. Who are you? Yeah, so Ty and Cece, I don't think are going to end well. I mean, obviously we're going to be talking about the next few episodes next week, but we know where that's headed. So it's obviously it's not going to end well. He's only doing it to show Annie that, I'm with someone else. So stop pursuing me romantically because I'm with this person now. And this is the episode where Cece decides she's not going to do the mock trial anymore. It's not for me, she says. And Helen's like, you're making a big mistake.
But it's not really her deciding it though.
No, but we don't know that till the next episode.
Mhm.
But she does say it's not for me. I don't have time to do the mock trial.
Yeah.
And I think her storyline is intriguing. I just
Yeah.
don't like her.
Yeah, see, I feel
I don't like
bad
her.
for her because of her dad, but I
Mhm.
don't like her
Oof, I don't like her dad.
at
Nope.
all.
I don't like parents who force their kids to be the parent. I don't like that. Cal and Maddie, low-key date.
Mhm.
I love
So romantic.
I love their low-key date.
I do too. The one thing that was like, what, Cal? Is when she's like, I didn't see the dessert. He's like, oh, it's by the hot tub.
And then they don't get to go to the hot tub.
No.
Right?
What, Tiffany?
Disappointment there. Got all excited.
Me too.
So the reason, and I love Cal's response here. Maddie, you have 3 kids. Answer your phone.
Yeah,
Like, I love that man. I think that man is awesome.
I know.
Yeah,
I
I'm
gain
telling
a
you.
lot of respect for him.
Yes, if she chooses Bill next season, I'm boycotting the show. I'm done.
Oh,
All
she
done.
won't. She won't.
I mean, that,
She's not that dumb. She can't choose Bill.
we'll talk about it in the next episode. There's something different when your kid is hurt like that and you have to bond back together right after a really emotionally intimate moment. I don't know. I
Don't
think she might
think
have a
she
weak
will-
moment.
Yeah, that's what I think. I don't think she will fully choose him, but I definitely think they will get closer, and
And I
she will
think
be
that
she will be reminded of
why
what
in the
was
first
good
place.
between them. Yeah,
And I think that's
Yeah.
going to play into her and Cal's relationship.
yeah, I think so too.
Noreen coming back in the second season too.
She's there. She was there.
Is she?
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
I was.
So we see her trying to buy the kids with the ice cream bar thing and when they go back over there and Katie's like, can I have ice cream again? Well, yeah, sure we can. Yeah. And then they ask them to be, and I hate when she's like, Katie and Kyle were excited. Why did Ty have to spoil it? Not only did she say Ty spoiled it, I'm sorry. How old are you? And you're upset that a teenage boy whose entire life was uprooted, destroyed, and traumatized because of you and your now fiance, and you think he's spoiling it? But also, sorry, were you looking at Kyle's face? Because he wasn't excited about it.
No.
Kyle was pretty ticked off. Kyle was just as mad as Ty was.
Yeah.
Katie was just confused.
Yeah. Well, she's little. You say she's gonna be a flower girl, and she just got excited. I mean,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
About,
Yeah.
like, I get to wear my
The
pretty
dress.
dress and my pretty shoes.
yes.
And the other thing too is that in front of both of his sons, Bill says, I can't think of anyone else who would make a better best man than you. Really? Not your other son who's sitting right there who you ignore all the time?
Right.
Like,
And my thing was
I
too,
know.
go ahead.
No, I was just saying what she was saying. Like, that just bugged me so much that he said that right in front of Kyle.
Yeah, and it was, oh, Kyle, you can sing at the wedding. Ty, I want you right up front with me. Katie will be right up front too, as the
Mhm.
flower girl. At least that's how it was at my brother's wedding. I don't know
Yeah.
if that's how it is at
Yeah.
everyone.
It is. Yeah.
Ty will be right there too. You know, you can have more than one best man. My brother had 5.
mhm.
Yes.
And typically
There's
in
no
relationships
reason.
like this, it is the kids who make up the bridal party.
Yes.
And when he said that, Kyle was clearly upset. And then he said that to Ty, and Ty just looked up and stared directly at Kyle for a few minutes. And then he said, come on, let's go. So I think Kyle was mad that you're involving us in this wedding, but I think Ty was also upset at what he just said about his son, Kyle. You're not good enough. to
Because,
get
like, I get Katie being the flower girl because she's that age to do that. But there's no reason why Kyle couldn't be a best man
Mhm.
or like a ring bearer or, you know, something. He's
Yeah.
not just a little kid.
Mhm. Noreen said that Ty owes you that you're his father. And Bill said, Ty doesn't owe me anything.
Mhm.
And then he
Yeah, I think
said,
that one of them had too.
I am excited for this. I want my kids to be excited for it, but I cannot force them to be excited about this, which was also like Bill had 2 shining moments in this, and those were it.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
Noreen got up mad and said, well, I guess I know where myself in this baby stand. Do you not realize what you did to these kids?
She does.
Bill is acknowledging we effed this up. My kids don't want this and I can't force them to want it. And she's mad that he refuses to force the kids to be happy about it.
The thing that I didn't understand, Did the kids text Maddie? Like, were they the ones blowing up their phone, or did Bill
Ty.
call her and was giving her a heads up?
It was Ty, because when she met up with Bill, Bill said, I guess, I asked him about the wedding.
Mhm.
Ty was the one texting her.
Because I knew that Bill drove the kids home, like back to Maddie's house, but
Mhm.
I wasn't sure who was telling her what was going on.
Yeah, it was Ty, I think.
Okay.
And I love that she says, he's like, I'm trying to have a relationship with these kids, but forcing them to celebrate what you broke isn't the way to do that. And he even, like, I get that Bill is reaching, and it's kind of redeeming that he's doing that. And it's kind of redeeming that he's now starting to realize because in these last episodes, Bill actually starts to realize what he did,
Mhm.
where he did in the first step. And that's the other reason he's better than Brad, because he's now starting to get, I really did do this to them.
Yeah.
And he's saying all these things to Maddie. Maddie actually says, well, I can't figure out how you got there. I cannot figure out how you made that leap from I want to have a relationship with my kids to being forced to be in my wedding. Also in this episode, let's do it subjectively. Let's go through it that way. So along with the Ty Jackson thing, Mary Vaughn is a horrible, terrible, rotten person.
Mhm.
She's just awful, and goes in there like Bill, only worse, to tell Cal how to run his job, how to run his team, how to coach.
Mhm.
And she actually has the audacity to say, well, if you weren't rolling in the sheets with Ty's mom, you would see that my Jackson is better than Ty.
Yeah.
Because Ty has started since before Cal came there
Right.
and has continued to start. So how did you get there?
Yeah.
And then she brings it up and she says the boosters, which Maddie is a booster.
Yeah.
So she's using this excuse. You see the dad is just as terrible as he is. And they're saying, oh, it's impartial. He just likes Ty. He's vested in the town's happiness. I love that Cal's like, fine, I'll take myself out.
Mhm.
Coach, you decide who stays in. Hello. What is that coach's name?
Bixley or
Bixley, yeah, because I keep calling him Frank. I want to call him Frank Oakley. That's all I want to call him.
Harlan
Harlan
Bixley.
Bixley.
Yeah.
And I love how he looks up at Cal just for a moment and says, Ty's starting it. And he immediately walks out.
Yeah. I mean, Ty's the better player.
Yeah. And so this is where Maddie tells Bill that she got the divorce papers, but before that, when Helen handed them to her, did anyone else actually think she had second thoughts? Did you buy into that? I did.
I think so, because I almost think you would, maybe not even second thoughts, but like I've never, like I said, I've never gone through this, but it would take a minute. Like you need to just take a minute to just think about it's more than just signing a piece of paper.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, ending a whole family unit, I mean, it's changing everything. So it's sad. I mean, I think you have to mourn it, even if you're not in love with the person anymore.
Yeah.
You're probably still in love with what you had.
There's a whole life you have to say goodbye to.
I think 9 times out of 10, when you marry someone, when you marry them, you're madly in love with them and things are good. So even when things don't go that way, I mean, you still reminisce about the time when it was like that, So
yeah. And I like how she played it off at first, and she was like, and then she's like, anybody got a pen? And she was like, oh, you scared the crap out of me.
But I really gained even more respect for Cal, if that's possible, with the whole speech about, I brought you ice cream. If you want to use it to celebrate, you can use it to celebrate. If you want to use it to loathe, you can use it to loathe.
Yeah, to mourn, yeah.
Well, I guess loathe isn't the right word.
To mourn.
Yeah. But like, I don't know, like he's a really good guy. Like, I don't know. I kind of went in not really liking him because of Grey's Anatomy, but he's a good guy with Maddie.
Yeah. And he even says, he's like, and that's okay. Both of these are okay. You just tell me where you're at, what you want. I've been there. And she says, you don't talk about it. He's like, yeah. So I understand if you don't want to talk about it either. He's very subtly setting a boundary, but also telling her that that's okay, that he doesn't expect anything from her in this.
Yeah.
I mean, what guy would do that willingly? So it's, just the way he is with Maddie is so sweet and it's so unbiased and it's so pure. Even when he's around Bill, like when they went to that meeting and they're standing there with Bill and Bill's confused because he's an idiot. And she says, I send the papers too. And Cal is totally trusting and okay with her in that room. Yeah. So Noreen's brother comes to visit, Garth, which is a very Southern name.
I like Garth.
Yep.
Garth, I love
I
it.
have never met a real Garth.
No.
I was gonna say Garth Brooks, but you probably never met Garth Brooks.
I
That's not his
wish.
real name either.
Uh,
That's what he changed his name to. So that's not even real.
I think of Garth from Wayne's World. Is what
Yep.
pops in
That's
my
the
mind.
two Garths that I know. So I love that it's Noreen and Garth, which are two very uncommon names.
Yeah.
But he visits, he brings the cradle is weird though. That cradle's weird.
Yeah.
I get it's a family traditions, but I wouldn't put my baby in that. But it's because
Bill
I don't.
was really weirded out about it.
He was like, "What's this you have here?" Like I would burn my baby's name into it, but I don't know that I would put my baby in it if it's that old.
Yeah.
I just don't think I would do that.
I mean, my kids used to sleep in laundry baskets sometimes.
I
That's
slept in a
different.
drawer when I was a baby for a little while.
This cradle is like generations old and all that dirt
Yeah.
and mold and it's
Yeah.
wood and it's musty and I just I get Bill's weird reaction to the cradle because I'm a germaphobe and that would just gross me out. And then
But he seems distant about everything though. The nursery talk in the beginning, he kind of dismisses Noreen about. And I mean, I don't know. I don't have kids. Is that mostly the girls doing like decorating the nursery and stuff like
I
that?
guarantee you with Ty and Kyle and Katie, he was excited. But remember we talked about the end of the last episode when we were talking about the previous episode, he is starting to realize what he did. And he's starting to realize what he lost. And I don't think he actually loves Noreen. He's just doing right by Noreen. And so he's realizing I lost Maddie. Maddie is officially with Cal, who is officially better than me. My son's going to love him better. What have I done? And so I think that's why he's not interested in the nursery stuff.
I was confused about that because
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was like the girls doing and that's why
I
he
mean,
was just like,
I think
do
the
what you want
moms-
to do. Or
I think as moms, we're more into it. Now, in Bill's defense, it is his fourth child and it is
Sure.
her first. Now that makes a bigger difference because
Cece and her father, Russ, he's a jerk. I hate that guy. She's not allowed to do anything before school because she has to be a mother to the kids. She's not allowed to do anything after school because she has to be a mother to the kids. She's not allowed to do anything while he's at work because she has to be a mother to the kids. That's wrong. That's so wrong. I'm sorry. Hire a babysitter, ask a family member, ask a friend, ask somebody other than your teenage student to be a mother to your children. I hate when parents do that.
Oh yeah,
we
definitely.
didn't find out what happened to her actual mom, right?
I don't think so. No, and we don't even know anything about how old her siblings are either. We just know that she's got a brother and a sister. That's all we know.
Okay.
And so Helen talks to him and he's like, no. So I like that Helen went to his work and spoke to him on his level because Helen's good at that. Listen, she's strong because you're her daughter. She's got these traits. Helen can read a person like the back of her hand. And she did a really good job with that with him. Oh yeah. Mary Vaughn visits Bill at work to tell him you can't get the house. And this is the other thing too, that I think he's not excited about the nursery and why he just gets less and less detached. Because not only did he lose his wife, his kids, his status in the community, but he's also going to be broke if he has to keep funding both of these lifestyles in the way that both of these people expect to be funded.
Yeah.
And he didn't sell the house, so he doesn't have as high of a mortgage opportunity. He's got to buy a dumpier house when Noreen has her sights set on nice house like Maddie's got, because I guarantee you she's going to, if she would stay with Bill, she'd say, Maddie has that house. Why don't I have the same style house? I deserve that if Maddie deserves it.
I thought that it was hilarious that the mortgage wasn't approved. I thought it was karma.
And then they ran the numbers and found something else. But so this is when Dana Sue sees, and I don't think she was looking through Annie's phone. I think it just went off and she saw the emojis and said, what is that? And then saw the beer and the baseball and all that stuff. And I think that she picked it up because of that. And so she found out that she was drinking. And poor Ty, when he comes in there, he was almost tricked into giving that answer that she was at that party.
They kind of manipulated him into telling them what was going on, because I don't think he would have spilled the beans if they wouldn't have talked to him the way they talked to him.
Well, I don't think they manipulated him. I think that he had a really guilty conscience. And so the words that they were saying convicted him enough that he thought they knew. I don't think that was their intention though. I think they were genuinely trying to figure it out. And he thought they knew. And then because the moment he gave something away, Dana Sue was like, she was at a party. And then he tried to backtrack, but then he already dug himself a hole.
Mhm.
And that's when he tried to tell Annie, hey, your mom knows. And she refused to look at him or talk to him, anything, acknowledge him at all.
Mhm.
To that, I think that Annie was out of line. Her mom was completely justified in grounding her from her phone and grounding her, period. Completely justified.
Yeah.
And Annie acted like, you have no, why would you ground me for that? It was just one. I'm sorry. Are you 21?
Exactly.
Because I did it when I was younger, that means that you could do whatever the hell you want now? No, that's not how that works. In fact, because I did it when I was younger, I know all the things you're going to do, and I'm going to not let you do those things.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What right do you think you have to fight her on your grounding?
Yeah.
It was only one. One doesn't get you that hammered. Even if it's a shot of vodka, it's not going to get you that hammered.
I thought, okay, another thing that we kind of skipped over a little bit, but I thought was funny. Kyle confronted Ty about the kiss with Annie.
Yeah.
Kyle thought that he knew what he was talking about, and then Ty kind of like put him in his place a little bit, which I thought was funny because it was like brotherly talk in a way, but like Kyle was trying to act like, I guess, kind of protective of Annie in a way because he feels the way that he feels about her, but then Ty's like, well, she kissed me, so just back off, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. I like when Kyle gets like, he did it too in the last episode. And he's like, what the heck happened with Annie? And Kyle said, I'm gonna go see if she's okay. And Kyle's like, no, it's between me and her. Stay here. So I like when Kyle gets like that.
Yeah, because Kyle's still the younger brother, and isn't Ty and Annie about the same age?
I think
They're
so.
a year apart. I think they're each a year apart. I think Annie is either a year older than Kyle or they're the same age, and then she's a year young because Jackson says to him, into the younger girls, like your dad was too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Kyle is a freshman because they say something about how he,
Oh, yeah,
it's
they
not
don't give those
normal
parts
for
to a
him to get a
freshman.
part. And I think Annie's a sophomore and
Ty's a junior.
Ty's a junior. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense then. So like Kyle's trying to like defend her honor a little bit, but she's the one that made the moves.
Yeah. Yeah. And we also hear in this episode Mary Vaughn talking to Jackson the way she does,
Yeah.
which explain. I like that they give you that glimpse because you still hate that kid. You still want to punch that kid in the mouth every time he opens his mouth because he's a little eggplant head. But you see where it comes from and you have sympathy for him at the same time.
Yeah.
Because she's
Yeah.
she's just a terrible human being all the way around.
She
There's not a
is.
single person she's kind to or deserving. Even Peggy Sue serves a purpose for Mary Vaughn.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize how many double names are in this show. Peggy Sue, Mary Vaughn, Dana Sue, another one.
I don't think it's Peggy Sue. I think it's just Peggy.
I don't think it's. I was gonna say, is it Peggy Sue?
I thought that's what Helen calls her, Peggy Sue.
I don't
Like
think-
Vaughn, her last
I could be
name?
wrong though.
Vaughn? No, it's Mary Vaughn. Mary
It's
Vaughn's her name.
Lewis. It's Mary Vaughn Lewis.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Lewis is her last name.
We all forget Lou. Like since we did the interview, I remember that Vaughn is not her last name, but I can never remember what her last name actually is.
So then we meet Ashley at the bar.
And he
Bill
kisses
Com-
his husband on the lips in case anybody misses that.
Mm-hmm. And then we shoot over to Bill comes home, sees Noreen and Garth in the window. He walks away and looks super sad. And then I said karma is a bitch.
That's when he went and bought that car. I mean, maybe it was the night before, but that's when he made the decision to buy the car.
Yeah.
I get you're trying to make it right with your son and you're trying, but how is it you think this is like you having I was so impressed he was having all these self-revelations about what he was actually doing and that he was wrong. And then he's like, okay, so I'm gonna buy your love and affection to get you back. And I'm gonna screw over my current girl and my new baby.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Maddie
with
was
Noreen
pissed.
Yeah.
on that conversation. You can't even take a look at a car seat and get a good one, but you can buy him a car. I mean, I do agree with that. Because the thing is, like, him buying that car, he should have discussed it with Maddie, which we've already. He also should have discussed it with Noreen. They're starting a
Absolutely.
family together, and that's a huge purchase. I mean, those.
Yeah, they couldn't
decisions
even
need to be
afford
made
the bright
together.
house they wanted anymore.
Yes.
Exactly.
And the other thing is too, and I mean, I get that this is just a show, guys, but I know when we got the loan for our car, they checked my credit, they checked everything.
Mhm.
And if your credit's not good enough to get a mortgage, I mean, I don't know, maybe he bought the car outright, I don't know. But if he got a loan for a car, wouldn't it mess up his credit and stuff, which again would mess up the whole mortgage thing?
It wouldn't necessarily
Again?
mess up the credit, but it would mess up his like income to like debt ratio,
Yeah.
which makes a difference on what you can afford on a house.
That's what it was. His mortgage wasn't necessarily denied. He was denied for the amount he wanted for the mortgage, was what it was.
And it's much easier to get like a loan for a car than it is
Mhm.
like a good
Yeah,
one
way
for a
less money.
mortgage. So
Because they don't say prices on anything, but you have to imagine like what he wanted for his original house was about what he wanted for the house that he and Maddie had, which had to be in like the couple of hundreds of thousands.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like above 200,000 would be my guess.
right.
Probably even
That's what I
above 3. And he couldn't afford that with 2 mortgages. But with a car, it's just like that car was probably like 17,000, maybe 20,000.
Annie and Dana Sue talk.
So when
Yeah.
when Dana Sue comes home, Annie's waiting there to ambush her and confronts her. Why are you so mad then? I shouldn't think that she would need more of a reason than you are a sophomore in high school. You got rip roaring drunk and you hit it from me. I mean, how do you not understand why she's mad? She knows what she did.
And so, yeah, and so many things could have happened when you're that
Mhm.
drunk and you're hanging out with people who aren't necessarily good people. If Ty wasn't there, like I know that Jackson was trying to play Prince Charming, but we all know well enough that he's not. So if Ty wasn't there, who knows what would have happened? Because Cece obviously didn't seem like she was really on her side, even though she
Yeah.
said that she was.
And even if Dana Sue didn't know who was there, a bunch of drunk people getting that drunk around each other, none of you have any inhibitions. None of you have a good grasp or control over what you're doing or the decisions you're making. I mean, good or bad people, if you're that drunk, you have no control. You're going to do something stupid, and there's a very real chance that you could hurt someone else without even knowing that that's what you're doing. So, yeah, Ty comes out because he says his shoulder hurt. He backs out. Jackson still isn't kind to him. When he's in the shoulder dugout with the ice on his shoulder, Jackson's still an a-hole to him. But then you see on the mound they have a connection, and Jackson trusts him.
Mm-hmm.
And Jackson's the big winner of the game. Woohoo, yay. And I do like the scene while he's at the game, because this is, or before the game, when Maddie's talking to Trotter, she confides in about the divorce, how she feels, what she wants. That enforces her to be open with Cal
Mm-hmm.
in a way she hasn't before. So at the end of the game,
Mhm.
she gives Cal a big smooch, and everyone's shocked until Bill pulls up with that new car. And obviously, and I like the look that Cal gives Maddie at the end, because he knows that she's gonna be upset, because he knows what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And-
Just a couple of things that we missed though too. Noreen and Garth look at the house. Garth can tell that Noreen's not happy, and they have that conversation. And like I said before, like it just kind of seems like she's trying to stay with Bill because she doesn't want the baby to be in a broken house. And then I thought the one part that I thought was extremely funny is that Jackson's sitting there talking all this smack about the other team and stuff, but the only reason that he was actually in the game is because Ty was being the bigger person and said that his shoulder hurt so that he could impress his mom. And like his mom is like through the moon happy that Jackson basically struck out his cousin or whatever. But like in reality, it wasn't really not really justified, but I think you guys know what I'm trying to say. What am I trying to say?
That the way he was acting, it wasn't right how he was treating Ty. Like it was all Jackson's greatness. It was egotistical and selfish what he was doing, but it was also, justified was the right word. He wasn't justified in acting how he was acting.
Yeah.
And then I think Cal knows that Ty was BSing about his
Oh yeah.
shoulder, and
From
Cal
the
tells him
moment he
that
said
Ty
it, Cal knew.
And Cal said that he would make a good coach because he basically put someone else's needs in front of his own, because you can tell that Mary Vaughn is a hard ass
Yeah.
on
absolutely.
Jackson.
So guys, that's it. We really tried to keep this concise and compact for you. Hopefully it'll only be just shy of 2 hours. We're not sure how it's going to tell you, but if you have any questions about what we did, what we said, what we didn't address, what we did address, let us know if we missed something. And you can let us know by reaching out to familyfanclub2021@gmail.com, or you can go to our Facebook page for this show. It's Sweet Magnolias Serenity Family Fan Club on Facebook.com. We have a page on Facebook, Fandom Family Chats, and we are on TikTok and on Instagram and on Twitter under FB Family Fan Clubs. Just search that. You'll find us on any of them. It's not our exact name, but you'll find us if you look up those things. And remember to share this group. Remember to download and subscribe, because the more you subscribe, the more you share, the more you tell people, the more content we can give you. That's what you want to need, what you want to see. And what we're talking is cast and crew reviews. What we're talking is products that we can send to you as prizes for winning games. We want to make this benefit you as much as humanly possible. So remember that in order to do that, we need you to share, subscribe, and download and watch every one of our podcasts. You can watch this on YouTube or Podbean or any other podcast platform. And on that note, you can't see it, but we've been on here for almost 3 hours. So our team's going to go to bed now, and we will see you in a week. We're talking to Ginny and Georgia next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.